Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. This is the Tata Steel Challengers section. Now, not to say that these players are any worse than the players in the Master section, but they're all playing for the prize of winning this tournament. Faustino Ora is trying to become a grandmaster, but the winner of this tournament qualifies to the Master section next year for more prize money, more prestige, and so on and so forth. We're going to go through the decisive games. The spoilers are on. You can see who won and who lost, so it does give it away, but these games are no less interesting, and they are very important. I'm going to cover all 7 games, going to go through them a bit methodically. It might be a bit of a long video, but stick with me. They are very fascinating games, very fascinating names to talk about, and I'm sure some storylines will emerge. The first game, we've got Dutch Grandmaster Erwin Lamy with the white pieces versus Aydin Suleimani. We get d4, knight to f6, knight to f3, d5, e3, e6, and we're getting a collie system, or something like this. Not quite a Queen's Gambit declined, but a bit of a collie system here, which is a very fascinating system because, we've had this trade, right? We've had this trade, and now this bishop is just blocked. So it's always an interesting setup when you see top grandmasters go for it. We could have had a repetition there, but we don't. Short castles. It's a very long time control as well. a6, b6, bishop to d3, bishop to b7, queen e2, rook to c8, knight to e5, knight to e7, and now f4. Rook c7, rook f3, queen a8, rook h3. Erwin Lamy has a simple plan. Me go checkmate black. Meanwhile, Aydin has just, done all of this. I don't know when this pawn's going to disappear. Maybe he thinks Erwin's going to do him a favor and play, c4 and allow him to take and activate this. I got no idea. Maybe the idea, you'll see in a few moves, is knight to e4. We allow this capture, and you can't really take that pawn. So now we can get knight dc4, and now queen e8, queen h5, h6, rook f1, knight takes bishop takes e5, f takes e5. And we've reached a very interesting position because it's very clear what Erwin Lamy wants. He wants mate. He would like to checkmate black. I mean, his plan has been clear all the whole time. Black, meanwhile, is fighting on all sides of the board, getting right back into this. Knight to f5, just creating chaos. Now c3 and f6. And here you have to be so precise. And here, Lamy plays bishop to c1. A blunder. Why? The best move in this position is queen g6, and the line goes knight e7, queen g3, bishop a6, rook takes h6, bishop takes c4, b takes c4, knight f5, attacking the rook, rook takes f5, pawn takes f5, queen g6, and f takes e5, and this is a draw. This is what Lamy had to see. This is the main line according to the engine. Instead, he plays bishop to c1. We get f takes e5, d takes e5, and now b5. Just removing the knight from where it stands. We get knight to d6, knight takes d6, rook takes f8, important switch and zook, queen takes f8, we take the knight, rook slides over. Very important move because I'm going to checkmate you. So queen d1 prevents that, and now I can play something like bishop to d5, and black is just better. Black is just better. After all of that, all those tactics, black is better. c4, b takes c4, b4, interesting move, queen takes d6, now rook to c3, e3, bishop takes e3, queen e5, hits both, bishop to d4, and now queen f4. A mistake. Can't make too many of those when you're up. Rook to g3, and now bishop e4. All of the advantage is gone. But disaster strikes because we play bishop e3. We attack the queen one more time, and now I can play queen f6, h3, c3, queen g4, bishop f5, queen f4, c2. There's not much you can do now. King h2 gets out the way, king h7, bishop to d2, queen, rook d7, rook to c3, rook to d4, queen e3, queen d8, bishop to c1, rook to d1. That pawn will promote at some point. We're removing everything. King to g3 goes the wrong way, and now queen f6. And there's nothing you can do. Because what I'm threatening to do, if you do nothing, let's say you go back to h2, I'm threatening to play rook takes, and your queen's overloaded. It can't defend both, and you lose. So Erwin Lamy went down. Now we're going to jump into one of the draws. The first one was interesting. We've got Vasily Vanchuk, one of the foremost grandmasters, but he is now in his latter years, versus international master Carissa Yip from the United States. She's a fantastic player. And she goes for a Nimzo Indian, where takes. Not going to look at this too much. Nimzo Indian theory is quite interesting if you want to study it. But what they do is, after a few moves, they kind of reach a little bit of a stalemate. We get long castles, and this is where the game was most spicy. When we sacrifice the pawn, and what we want is takes, and if you trade bishops, that's fine. I'm going to short castle, and because we're going to castle on opposite sides, we're going to have a very big attack. But if Vanchuk just plays e4, we get a takes b5, bishop takes b5, short castles, bishop to c6, rook to a7, and knight to c4, and you don't have enough attack. Knight gets out the way, the bishop moves. We're going to trade the bishop like this to get the pawn forward. The king can just get to d2. The center's locked. We can trade off a set of rooks, and unfortunately, this is all the excitement that we can get. As everything kind of liquidates, we give the check first before we take the rook back, and we in fact repeat moves and make a draw. So Ivanchuk gets a draw against Carissa Yip. Now we move on to what I think was one of the most, I don't know if I should call it shocking, but it was shocking to me. Bibisara, a survivor, defeats Andy Woodward. And she did it in a very interesting fashion. We got a Rogozin defense of the Queen's Gambit declined. I think this is the Rogozin, yeah. Looks similar to Nimzo Indian, but it comes from a Queen's Gambit declined and not a Nimzo Indian straight up. And, you know, it was a back and forth. They played very typical plans in these structures, as Woodward just went all in. And he's better. He's better on this side. Like, White's pieces don't have a lot of space and targets, and he's just committed all of this, and he's going to just get his pieces through and win. But here he has to be precise. He has to play c takes d4. He has to play c takes d4. And then after e takes d4, then he can take here. And he will be fine. Instead of that, he rushes his idea and plays e5, trying to explode everything. Unfortunately, it's now a draw. He's given up his advantage. H takes g4 is the wrong way, and his advantage is back. C takes d4, now he finds. So the move automated. E takes d4. Now e4 was the idea. Bishop to b1. e3, trying to just blow everything open. And g takes h5. Bibisara is completely lost. Completely. If we get e takes f2, which we do, e takes f2 check. King takes f2. And knight f6. Not the most cleanest way to win. The cleanest way to win is, of course, to play queen h4 check. And then, you know, now you bring in... You activate this bishop somehow. This bishop's active. The knight comes in. The rook is active. You can swing the other rook. And it's just over. Knight f6 is the wrong way around. Because now knight to f3. Check. King comes forward. And now queen to e3. We're threatening mate. Mate in 1 is threatened. So queen a2 defends. Rook a e8 is a mistake. Woodward missed chance after chance after chance. Rook e1 now. Queen f4. King g1. Knight h2, queen f2. We take here. Pawn takes. King h8. Threatening all sorts of mates. But you don't have enough. I trade off one set of rook. I do play rook d1, which gives it back. But after queen h5, white is completely winning. Also, Bibisara is up material. She's up 3 pawns. Look at this position. Bibisara Asubayeva is up 3 pawns. She consolidates her position as Woodward sacrifices the bishop to try and get this, but it's not enough. It's not enough, and he runs out of pieces, and his king is not safe, and he resigns. Unbelievable fashion. They just make the time control all went completely wrong for him. Now we move to the next draw. Marc-Andre Moretti versus Daniel Ufa. It was a Sicilian defense, so it was quite a fighting game. We got this interesting line that some players play where they bring the queen out early and they get this opposite side castling position. They play rook g1 and they really get a kingside attack going. And you have to calculate all of this very precisely. We get the knight sacrifice, but we get b4 to pick the knight back up. f4, b takes f4, rook takes c3, knight to g4, king comes back, we trade here. And the pieces start coming off, and what that generally means is the attack, no one's interested in trying to win anymore, and everything liquidates. The king comes forward, and they repeat moves and make a draw. 36 moves. Now, we've got FIDE Master Vendant Panisar versus Ilian Robos, and we get, I don't even know what to call this. I think it's like, I don't know what this opening is called. d4, c4, bishop f4. I've never seen this. Like, I suppose it could transpose to London-esque positions with the knight on d2, bishop on f4, but it's so strange to play like this. Like, if you're going to play the London, play this straight up London. But this gets feisty fast. Like, Ilian Robos just attacks on the king side, makes one or two inaccuracies, and Panisar just punishes her. Like, she made inaccuracy after inaccuracy. Black is better, completely better, and she just consolidates. He just consolidates rather against her, and there's not much to say really. Like, I feel really bad. Like, sacrifice the queen, sacrifice the rook kind of, and we try to get a draw here, push the pawn forward, but you don't have enough. You do not have enough, and everything is fine. 91 check, and the game is over. 34 moves. Final draw. Faustino Oro versus Velimir Ivrinčić. I haven't checked yet if Faustino Oro can get his final GM norm from this, but I think he can. We had an interesting Queen's Gambit declined here, where we advanced a lot on the queen side in terms of what white was doing. Black didn't really do too much. They struck in the center. They consolidated well. I mean, Faustino Oro just, he holds a really comfortable draw with the white pieces, with the black pieces. What can I say? Like, there's nothing here. Like, I'm just going to keep fast forwarding. There's nothing here. We trade off rooks. Eventually, all the pieces will start coming off. The queen trade was offered. And, we're trying to be dynamic. I don't know what these players are doing other than shuffling. Like, white's advanced their pawns as far as they can go. I don't know what Ivrinčić can do. Like, Faustino Oro for several moves was just like bringing his queen back and forth. His knight's now gone this way. Like, I don't know what you do here because you can't really break through. Black is not going to try and play like b3. They're not going to engage in here. So you can try, but, like, I'll just lock it up. And the, queen a5, queen a7, bishop d3, eventually, like, you've got nothing to do but bishop d3, and it's a threefold repetition draw. Because the position repeated twice. And then finally, one of the biggest games of the day was again local player Max Varmdam against international master Lu Mioi, or Mioi Lu. She played e4, and we got a closed Sicilian, kind of. We got this line with queen takes d4, so may as well be an open Sicilian. Knight to c6, queen drops back. This is the second time we've seen one of these interesting lines with the queen coming out early, opposite side castling, but this is not the previous game, where after a while the players stopped attacking. This is not that. We sacrificed the rook to open up the king. We pushed the pawn forward. Look at this. Look at what she made Max Varmdam do. Look at this. Unbelievable. Now you can take this, but knight d7. We take here. Knight takes. Now we get here. We trade off the dark squared bishops. We play rook to d4. Knight goes back to b6. Now we play c3. Look at this. She plays c3 here. Her king has got no safety whatsoever. But she doesn't need safety. She can play rook c1. And queen to c5 is not good enough. I pick up the pawn. I picked up two of those three pawns. Rook f6. I can drop back. You can push here. I can drop back. Rook e6. I can go here. Black's position is hanging on by a thread. White is up a pawn. Well, they're up a rook for a knight and a pawn. Sorry. Black has got... It doesn't feel like it, though. Black has got 5 pawns versus 4. But white's got 2 rooks. And they are about to become very powerful. Queen takes b7. Rook e7. Queen a6. Knight takes a4. Still the game in the balance. Queen takes a5. e4. Black might be slightly better. Rook h3, rook b7, we take here, king goes to c2, queen b6, queen a3, and here devastation for Max Varmadam as he plays queen b7 and loses. You've got a couple of options here. You can play queen c7, which is the best move. I don't understand the difference between these two squares. That is how top level chess goes. Queen c7 is better than queen b7. And the only other move you can consider is h5 or g5 to push pawns in front of your king, which no one would do. Queen b7, not in low time anyway. c4 now attacks the rook. Now you play queen c7 to pin the pawn, but I can play rook c3, gives away some of the advantage. Rook f5, rook d2, e3, good idea, but now rook d4. The game is a draw again. Rook g2 check, king d1, rook takes g2, loses, rook takes e3, rook g1 check, and now I escape. I give check and I start hunting your king, and eventually I win. I just win. I escape the checks, and after king b6, Miu Lui won. She defeated Max Varmadam in interesting fashion, let's say the least. Like if you go and you watch this with the engine, it's like doop 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 doop. Absolutely incredible performance. Now I did mention this in the previous video, but not all of you will have seen that. This round was delayed an hour and a half because of protesters to the outside. So, I don't know how this affected the players. It seemed like it affected some of the master level players. I don't know how it affected all the players in the master section. I don't know how it affected these players, if they struggled, if they didn't. All I know is we've got 4 players who scored victories, 2 with the white pieces, 2 with the black pieces. Faustina Ora held a comfortable draw with the black pieces. Carissa Yeh put pressure on Vasily Ivanchuk, and Daniel Yufa and Marc-Andre Morizzi made a quiet draw. And then we had 4 very decisive games as the players start off well. They've got 12 rounds to go, and it's very, very exciting. And I will see you tomorrow for round 2.